as a therapist for babies with disabilities, I would frequently refer families to the Pregnancy Resource Center when they needed help or parent resources or whatever. But no one really knew the background that I had and the experiences that I had through a pregnancy center when I was an unwed mom. At 23 years old, I found out that I was pregnant, and I was not married, nor were we prepared to have a child. And that time was so difficult because in the 90s, it was still not socially acceptable to be a single mom, at least not in my family. And I thought I could rely on my partner, his dad, to step up to the plate, and that never happened. Pregnancy was never anything that I even considered would happen to me. I knew that I was going to go to grad school and then get a job and then maybe get married and have a family. So when I was tired, I thought it was because I worked a full-time job. I was taking hours in the summer to finish my degree, my bachelor's degree, and I just thought I'm worn out and maybe I have low iron or a tumor. So I made an appointment and went to the health service. And while I was there, they examined me. The doctor talked to me. I know that they did an examination, and he left the room, and I thought, he's coming back to tell me there's something really bad wrong with me. I have cancer or something. So when he walked back in the room, he had a brochure in his hand, and he sat down in front of me and he said, I think you might be pregnant. And he said, these people might be able to help. And he handed me a brochure, and it was the Crisis Pregnancy Center. And I know that I must have looked at him like he was from Mars. It was so far away from what I thought might be wrong with me that it couldn't even compute in my brain. My trip to the pregnancy center was a little bit adventurous because I didn't have a vehicle, and Bloomington Normal is a pretty big city. It's much bigger now, but even then it was big. So I had to plan my bus route in order to get on at campus and then drive around through town and then get to the pregnancy center. I go just into a little building, and I was met by a very kind elderly lady who was probably the age that I am now, but I was 22, and to me she seemed old. And it's funny, the kind of things that you remember when you're thinking back about things that happened in your past. Like, I couldn't tell you what she looked like, but I can so totally tell you how she felt, like what her feeling was about her. I felt so at ease. She just sat down and talked to me about what kind of plans I had made already, or kind of where I was at in the process. And I can remember, I'm sure I cried. I don't remember that. But what stuck with me was that she said, this baby is not unwanted. It's only unplanned. And so her recognizing that that was the feeling that I had, it perfectly encompassed, like, yes, true, this isn't an unwanted pregnancy. It's not that I want to get rid of it. I just hadn't planned for this, and I wasn't prepared. I didn't know where to go for my next step. So we talked about the next steps that I would take, and we talked about prenatal care and talked about my options, and she gave me a lot of literature. And it was right as I was getting ready to leave, she said, just a minute, and she left and came back, and she brought me 2 tiny pairs of socks. And these are actually one true pair of the socks that she handed me. And she said, these are for your baby. And I remember looking at them, they were folded up in my hand, and I thought, this is a baby. This is a baby who has feet. And so I took those socks, the only thing that I owned for my baby. From that point, probably for the next 6 months, I had nothing. And I left there with the knowledge that I had the option to either parent my child or place him for adoption, and that no matter what, somebody would help me to get to the right answer for me. I really feel like God had a plan for us, and that our steps were ordered, and that as he grew up, even though it was a struggle, and even though financially I couldn't give him everything that all the other kids might have had, that I had this firm vision that this was not an unwanted child. I wanted him. And even though I hadn't planned it this way, this is what God really had planned for us. And the struggles made those times where we were in a better place so much sweeter, because we had each other and we made it work. I knew the value of those little socks, and I knew that somewhere somebody had cared enough to either give them the socks that they gave me, or to give them the money for that tangible thing that made Ethan's life valuable, and my job as his mother invaluable. And the support is critical to being able to have a life with him. We struggled, yes, but each step by step, things got better and better and better, and we just built on each success until now our family has grown to 5. Ethan's got 2 little brothers. I got married in 2004. When I look back now, Ethan has graduated high school. He's gone to his freshman year of college. I think he has gone so far over and above anything that I could have expected of him. I dared to hope that he would be a good boy, but I had no idea what that really meant, to say, God, I need help to do this. And God putting that pregnancy center there at the right day, at the right time, when I could get the information. And even though I wasn't there for ongoing support, I was only there one day, maybe 1 hour, and that hour saved my child's life. So if somebody were to say to me, what is the value of these socks, of these little tiny baby socks, I would say their value is immeasurable, because for me, that meant the life of my child.